there, this is Eddie Ranson of Legal Floggle, and today I am going to be doing a review of the third album by John Lennon and Yoko Ono, the Wedding Album. This was released in October 1969 and was the third of the experimental albums by him and his wife, Yoko Ono. Well, it got to number fail in the UK. I call it number fail because it didn't reach the UK charts, and number 178 in the United States, which is pretty good. On the same day it was released, Cold Turkey, the second single by John Lennon, was released. About how he was trying to go off his heroin addiction. So it must have been a good joke for a fan who knew this, then listened to the Wedding Album, because I'm sure you would have had a right laugh at listening to a very interesting album. I think that's a good way to put it. So let's get on with the songs. So the first track is called John and Yoko. I have listened to it all. Yes, I have. I've listened to the full thing. Well, a little bit. I was doing the dishes, and the sound of smashing dishes sort of accompanied as a good percussion to some of the earpiece noises that was going on. Let's just have a listen.
Yoko! John! Yoko! John! Yoko! SpongeBob!
So this goes on for about, I think, 22 minutes, 23 minutes, something like that. And it's a bit disturbing because that noise you're hearing isn't just lo-fi crunching noises, it's actually a baby. That is the recording of Yoko Ono's heartbeat monitor for the baby, which sort of failed when being born. So it is quite disturbing in that sort of way. And people could look into it. People could really peel the onion, as they say, and think, oh, yes, the reason why they are doing this was because John is trying to call for Yoko, or maybe John isn't actually John. That was the name of what they were going to call the baby, and he's calling to his mom, and the baby fails to be born because she can't go over the heartbeat, and the heartbeat's too loud, and when you get louder heartbeat, that means you're going to die, and the baby dies. So no, it's just a piece of poo-poo. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I've actually only listened to Johnny and Yoko, but I promise you, I did listen to all of that. So then, like with my Crazy Frog review, where I know this album is supposed to be terribly bad, I'm gonna listen to it for the first time. Off we go. Alright, play.
Okay, Yoko.
Is there a bee in here?
Let's hope for peace.
It's true. It's true.
Let's hope for
A bit heavy, or a bit intellectual about it. Everybody's talking about peace, but nobody's doing anything about it, except for a few people. And the things like the Grosvenor Square marches in London, the end product of it was just newspaper stories about riots and fighting. And we did the bed event in Amsterdam and the bag piece in Vienna, just to give people a... But I mean, there isn't one European country that hasn't had its Hitler, one way or the other, including Britain, and what they did to India and in South Africa.
So let's go back to the future, So that's why we're here. We want to talk to mainly to the young people.
If you don't mind, because it's one of the asylum, so they have to have the thing. Oh, thank you very much.
I thought you were giving it. They just did a plug then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What was it that they were not going to give us?
No, no.
She didn't want to get it though.
No.
I thought she gave it to you.
I was under that impression
Yes.
that we were given a dog, and then she gave us the dog and then went away.
For peace of the world, stand there.
This bit's alright. Very raw.
Thank you very much.
At the end. Nearly. Oh, that was a good bit. It's done. Right. Thank frick. Alright, well, yeah. Basically, it was a podcast. It was mostly a big interview when they were in bed doing that peace thing, which was quite interesting, you know. Say about like 15 minutes of nothing, jabbering on, but if it cut it down to about 8, maybe, some of it's quite cool. You know, John does talk about some good points. Overall, if you are an extremely big collector of John stuff, and I mean, like you would rather have a bit of his toenail, and you'd pay that for £50,000. You'd stand in a place where he took a crap in a toilet, and you know that sort of thing. Don't get it. I mean, honestly, right? Okay. Will these people just go away? Overall, I'd give it a 2.3 out of 10. 1 point's going from the amount of balls I had for putting it on, and the other because it had some tiny, tiny bits of good stuff. That's it. Thank you very much for watching.